because of his ego. It obstructs the whole scene from his sight. When a big wave rolls towards him, he struggles because he is unable to escape. The wave crashes, his feet slip, and he is dragged into the sea. He tries to swim, however, he is unable to do so owing to the power of the sea. He starts shaking. Finally, unable to breathe, the man drowns. Another sits on a rock located in a higher elevation from the ocean. He watches the fury of the waves rising from the sea from a distance and finds happiness as he watches the waves roll. Here you are seeing one instance where a man drowns in suffering, and in the other, a man using his intelligence remains safe without getting caught in suffering and experiencing happiness, don't you? So, what causes suffering? Desire is the cause of suffering. Each person desires something in different situations. He is happy when he gets what he desires, if not, he suffers. Desire may occur over materials, clothing, jewelry, and decorative items. Desire may also arise for food and consumption of food. It may be for those that one loves or for the children that a couple have. Some may have the desire to see God too. Once a person gets what he desires, he will experience happiness. That happiness may be related to the body or mind. Happiness from physical and material things is derived only while the time during the time one enjoys them. After that, man desires to experience these things that give him happiness repeatedly. As his desire increases, he starts to get attached to it, which means he searches for opportunities to ensure that the object of his desire remains constantly close to him. Attachment grows its roots and becomes deeply entrenched in his life. It gives rise to the willingness to do anything to get his desired object, even if the cost is more than its worth or is excessive. And he wants to enjoy it at every opportunity. Desire rises in the heart. Desire leads the way to attachment. Attachment leads to lust. There is no limit to the object that creates attachment in man. There is no full stop to the enjoyment one seeks in lust. Caught in the waves of desire, slipping, losing one's balance, falling, struggling in water, shaking, the person drowns in it. Yes, sister.
Thank you so much, Sister Sumati. So I think that the first few lines in the beginning really is so powerful because first you see the man who drowns in suffering and pain, and there is the other who sits on the rock and observes it. So immediately, the first example of the one who drowns in it is one who is still very attached to the needs and the desires of this world. And the one who is sitting on the rock and watching it is somebody who has transcended these desires and watching the suffering and watching the pain from afar. It's like he knows that he is not one with that pain, but he's just the observer. But now to continue with desire, suffering, and lust. I mean, I think this Appa explains very clearly there how we get lost in this web of desire that, we are constantly, and I think this is the reason we want to be achievers, because when we have a little, it's not enough. Then we get something else, that too is just temporary. And then we continue this cycle of just becoming slaves to our desires. And becoming a slave, with becoming a slave, you are assured to suffer. So, and also we see in this day and age that lust and greed and this endless need and want for desire. We have brothers and sisters stealing from each other. We have friends stabbing each other in the back to climb over each other for work opportunities. We have, even family members or business partners or work colleagues, basically due to that craving and that want to be better than the next person, just literally climbing over each other to get what they want without even thinking about what's to come, without thinking of the consequences, without thinking of the karmas that they are incurring. And I think this is the biggest issue, because when desire becomes such a craving that it overpowers our lives, this is when we start creating very, very deep karma, and we lose ourselves in this web of illusion and this birth, and we forget that the reason that we came here was not to achieve the house, the car, the money, and the diamonds and everything else, but we actually came here with a desire, with the passion to find our way back home to ourselves, that journey within. So, yes, Sister Sumati, if you may please continue.
Yeah. The next, Sage Agastya talks about pleasure in living. Pleasure is that emotion that is evoked at various times because of different things. It is not wrong for man to enjoy the pleasures that one gets through his five senses, as long as it is at the right time and in the right measure. It is natural to enjoy those things that are meant to be enjoyed. However, what is wrong is if it is beyond the limits of relevant age, measure, and need. There is a saying, anything that is enjoyed may seem like nectar, but if the enjoyment exceeds the limits, then it turns into poison. Pleasure is that one derives from getting something that one desires. Sage Agastya sang thus: For the tongue, sweetness is pleasure. For the nose, fragrance of a flower is pleasure. For the ears, music is pleasure. For the eyes, colorful things are pleasure. For the skin, touching is pleasure. For the sensual man, sex is pleasure. For the yogi, remembering God is pleasure. For a tired laborer, sleeping is pleasure. And for some, provoking others is pleasure. Like this, there are many things that give pleasure. That which gives happiness is consumption to a suitable extent is happiness. Loving the beauty of something without touching it is happiness. Praying to God and attaining samadhi is happiness. For your wife, decorating the goddess is happiness. The happiness that increases love, the happiness that gives peace, the happiness that leads to contentment, that is bliss. The pleasure that causes pain to the body and mind will only result in suffering.
Hmm.
Yes, sister.
So again, I mean, I think that's quite self-explanatory, where everybody's pleasure and everybody's desire is different, and we've heard this many a times, where one man's pleasure is another man's pain. But again, Appa is not saying like go blind, go deaf, don't speak, and be dumb. He's saying, I've given you all these senses, enjoy them, enjoy the pleasures of the world also, but there has to be a limit to everything, and I like the way he says that excess is like poison, and this is true. So there is a limit to every enjoyment. You can work, and also remember that when you're working, work with integrity. We need to live this dharmic lifestyle to be able to enjoy all this that we have, with to derive the greatest pleasure out of it, to experience that without greed, without lust, without sickness, without suffering. So when we start to live a life that is virtuous and moral, and we enjoy all these things, within its limits, and in remembering the divine and remembering why we came here, then everything does become beautiful for us. Then there is no suffering, then there is no pain, then there is sharing, there is no greed, there is no craving, there is no lust. There's no killing of brothers and killing of siblings so that one can be better than the other. So, and I think this is a very, very important point, because, like I just said earlier, I mean, So much is happening in the world at the moment. If only we could we could curb our desires and cravings in the material world, there would be so much of food for everybody. There would be homes for everybody. There wouldn't be illnesses, there wouldn't be people living on the streets. We would be able to share, and everybody would be taken care of. Everybody would be okay. So yeah, there's some very important morals and values within these lines. So thank you, Sister Sumati. If I may ask you to please continue.
So the next topic on which Sage Agastya talks is contentment. One can see contentment of heart when one gets and enjoys and is satisfied after experiencing what he desires. Man does need money, luxury, vehicles, etc. However, there is a limit to everything. When one feels this is enough, then they have contentment, which means the desire of the heart can be fulfilled to a certain extent to find contentment. If the sweet porridge boils over and spills, all that is spilt becomes undesirable. Happiness cannot be derived from finding pleasure in that which is against righteousness. The state of satisfaction. Every householder has the right to experience and enjoy what the world, life, and nature provides to the extent that is needed. It is the responsibility of each man to save as much as necessary for himself, for his wife, for his parents, and children. However, once one reaches the geriatric state, it is necessary to let go of desires one by one. It is necessary to live with a satisfaction that one has enjoyed enough of material life. There is a separate happiness in contentment. When one floats and flies in the sky of satisfaction, he is able to look down from above with eyes filled with happy tears and watch all that happens below without getting attached to it. Whenever a man reaches a state from want to the state of enough and attains the state of this is enough, I no longer want, and then reaches a final stage of this is nothing, then he is known as a monastic. One who is higher than even this state is the one who reaches the stage where he can state, I am not, I don't have anything, I am not the body or the mind, and understands that he is the microcosm of the Creator. Some reach the soul realization where they understand they are not different from the Absolute and that the Creator and created are all one. This is the final stage of complete bliss.
Hmm. So I think I already started speaking about that previously. So I'll just continue from there. But look at how gracious the divine really is, because he is saying, please enjoy all these things, enjoy looking after your family. But when you reach old age, so this is so interesting because he is saying, I'm giving you this whole life. So, I mean, now when you look at people dying young and like we have been discussing in the last topics about suicide and all that, he's giving you a full life, and he's saying, go and work, go and provide for your family, go and enjoy this dream, this Maya that you are in. But before you leave, please don't forget, have those few years where you detach from all of this. And so he gives us that time. But how many people actually realize that we've been given these last few years in old age to start detaching from all this, from connecting with the divine within us? Because without his grace, we wouldn't have even experienced all that we have had the opportunity to experience. So he's saying, okay, even while you have been busy, you've been going and doing your rituals and you have been remembering me. But now at old age, please remember me fully, awaken me in your heart and detach from all these desires. So what a gracious divine being he is. And I think, this is something that's very important where we need to be so conscious of the fact that, this is a preparation for us before death to detach, not at the time of death where we are still holding on to all these things. So this is like this time that's been given to us to detach from family, detach from material things, and just go back to living that simple life. And also it gives you that opportunity to sit with yourself and because as we know, we have been born because we have karmas. And, sometimes I think we've been having these discussions a lot also in the last session about how even in this lifetime, we are incurring more and more karma. Consciously, unconsciously, we are incurring this karma. So in this time of old age, we have all this time now to sit and sit with ourselves and say, okay, is there someone I have hurt? Is there someone I have wronged? Is there someone I have stolen from? And you have this opportunity to be able, and I mean, we are so fortunate these days. We have got mobile phones, we have video calls, and all you have to do is saying, just pick up that phone and just say, I'm so sorry if I hurt you. Please forgive me. Or, he's giving you that opportunity to make all your wrongs right. And but we don't even think of it like that. We forget. We think that old age is about sitting with the disease and looking after the grandchildren and complaining and but it is actually such a beautiful phase of our life. It's teaching us to become sannyasin. It's teaching us to be celibate. It's not teaching us, but allowing us to enjoy this phase as the divine has asked us to. So, yeah, thank you. Please continue, Sister Sumati.
So the next question posed was jealousy, anger, suffering. Why do they occur? So Sage Agastya says, let us take up jealousy as the first topic. Why does jealousy occur? Whom does one become jealous of? How much jealousy is manifested? How does it grow? Let us see. When a person compares oneself to another person or situation and then sees himself as lacking, and he does not have the strength to bear that sense of lacking, that is the state. That is called jealousy. Why does jealousy occur? Whenever man fails to find satisfaction with what he has and wants more, then he develops desire. It is natural to have desire. However, when a person feels the lack of something in himself that is present at a larger scale in another person and is unable to gain that thing, then he becomes jealous of the person who possesses it. Usually, jealousy is caused in terms of property, happiness, money, material, fame, and status. When a person has less than someone else, then he starts getting jealous of the person and aspires to become richer than the other person. When someone else refers to the bounties of another and makes the person feel slighted, then jealousy increases. This may occur between parents and children, siblings, friends, or couples. When anger and pride combine with jealousy, then it may lead to dire situations. During such disputes and fights, people may even go to the extent of taking a life. How can we fight jealousy? When comparing oneself to another, one thing needs to be remembered. What does it matter how someone else is? We must feel happy for another's fortune, be it emotional or material. Understand that there is no connection between your situation and the situation of the others. Remember one thing, what one has in terms of materials, name, status are all dependent on one's behavior, talent, or situation. If there is some shortfall over all this, one must consider this as something to do with one's karma. To fight jealousy, one must seek your guru or the god you worship. This is the way to fight jealousy. Advice given by Sage Agasthya to Anuradha regarding a situation at her place of work on jealousy. As pride and praise flew upwards, the snake and jackal got together, seeing this, and wept, looking at the sky. that they too did not have wings to fly. In the same way, unable to bear the spiritual ambition of this girl who is going upwards, some people are pouring tamarind water into the boiled milk. Her guru has already churned and extracted the butter out of the milk that had already become buttermilk. What effect does soreness have on butter? This is a test in life. This is the moment to test and determine whether she is the boiled and cooled milk or the butter that has been churned and extracted from it. Melted butter, when heated, only turns to ghee, but nobody can turn it into buttermilk or milk again. The warmed up ghee, isn't that which provides taste to others? Is it not meant for her to? The duty of working for others? After she returns from her guru's place, the correct answer will be revealed. Until then, there is no need for worry. Those who mean harm will be hurt. This is the harsh cosmic law. In this house where gods and great gurus are present, no want will raise its head. As the blessings of Kanda awaits, whatever has happened needs to be seen as ended. When Kartigai Deepam is coming closer, there is no other option but for light to glow. Saying this, Sage Agastya bless the family.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, first and foremost, I think when people have anger and they have jealousy, it shows how far they are from themselves, how far they are from the divine within themselves, or I should say, even the divine that's in the temples, because many people, uh, especially these kind of people who are angry and jealous and all that, they too go to the temples, they do rituals and prayers, but you know it's in total vain because they are not believing in what they are doing. They're not believing in the God that they are praying for. Because if they had any belief whatsoever in the divine, first and foremost, they wouldn't harbor these kind of feelings. And secondly, they would know that whatever they are harboring is going to affect only them and accumulate their karma. And I think it's so true what is being said, that each person is where they are according to their past karmas. And people who are close to their gurus, the divine within them, they are guided. The guru guides them. In the case of Sister Anuradha and her family, they were guided, and I think Appa is trying to tell them also that, like, look at all this behavior of these people who are jealous and angry towards you all as tests to see how you would behave. Are you now going to behave at their level and add more karma, or are you going to stay firm in knowing who you are, in knowing that if you aggravate them or stoop to their level, you will be incurring more karma for yourself. So yeah, that's very important, and how all these conversations are interlinked, and these are the subtleties of how we add karma and suffering and pain to our lives. So yes, and when we are rooted in who we are, when we know who we are truly, then we're not affected by anything. We're not affected by people's anger. We're not affected by their jealousy or whatever they do. We just allow them to be who they are. And we just be like in the beginning of this conversation, the one sitting on the rock and observing the suffering and the pain in front of him. So, uh, in this case, this is exactly what we should do, is just observe other people. Don't get involved in their anger and their jealousy. And also just remain rooted in ourselves. Understand that we are born because we have a karma. Understand that we've come here to lessen that karma instead of adding to it. And how quickly we can be aggravated to add to that karma, uh, by greed, by jealousy, by desire, by lust, by all these little things, you know. So we just need to be constantly aware, and we need to be very cautious in uh, our actions and our reactions.